Jesse James is best known as the founder of West Coast Choppers, the world-famous custom motorcycle brand. But beyond that, he's an automotive mechanic, entrepreneur, and television personality. Over the years, Jesse has co-founded Austin Speed Shop, hosted Monster Garage on the Discovery Channel, and launched several ventures from a clothing line to restaurants and even a firearm company. His incredible craftsmanship and larger-than-life personality turned him into a celebrity. Yet in recent years, fans have wondered what really happened to Jesse James after Austin Speed Shop. Born in 1969 in Linwood, California, Jesse Gregory James grew up in a home that could best be described as unstable. His parents' marriage fell apart early, leaving him in the care of his father, Larry James, an antique dealer constantly consumed by work. With little attention or guidance, Jesse drifted into trouble, stealing cars, vandalizing property, and rebelling against authority. He later admitted that returning home filled him with dread, and he often ran away. When his father remarried, Jesse's resentment and anger only grew worse. According to some accounts, his rage became so uncontrollable that he even attempted to set his family's house on fire. His run-ins with the law became frequent, but with few consequences, he developed a sense of invincibility, even stealing Olympic skater Scott Hamilton's Porsche 911 without serious punishment. Still, beneath the chaos, there was a creative spark. Jesse had always been fascinated by motorcycles. His father's antique shop was located next to a Harley-Davidson parts supplier, and when Jesse received a mini bike at age 7, it ignited a lifelong obsession. The sound of roaring engines and the rebellious aura of the Hells Angels left a deep impression. Tinkering in garages became his escape, a way to turn pain into creation. In high school, Jesse briefly channeled his energy into sports. As a linebacker at La Sierra High School, he excelled and earned a scholarship to Riverside Community College, with dreams of going pro. But fate had other plans. 2 devastating knee injuries ended his football ambitions and sent him spiraling back into uncertainty. After dropping out, Jesse worked odd jobs, often as a bouncer, but the mechanical itch never left him. That football injury, painful as it was, became a turning point. Confined to bed and forced to rethink his life, he decided to return to his true passion, motorcycles. In 1992, at just 23 years old, Jesse James founded West Coast Choppers in his mother's garage. It was a true underdog story. He started with nothing but basic tools, a relentless work ethic, and an eye for design. He took on repair jobs to make ends meet, all while learning the art of custom chopper building from legends like Ron Sims and Boyd Coddington. Sims in particular influenced Jesse's now iconic style, raw, functional, and unapologetically tough. His early bikes weren't flashy or overly polished. They were handcrafted machines built for performance and attitude, featuring clean lines, exposed steel, and powerful engines. Money was tight and deadlines were brutal, but Jesse kept pushing forward, even tattooing "Pay Up Sucker" on his palm as a reminder to stay tough. His determination paid off. A feature in Easy Riders magazine in the mid-1990s suddenly put his name on the map. By 1996, West Coast Choppers had evolved into a thriving business with 12 employees, a long waiting list, and a growing reputation for crafting some of the most coveted custom motorcycles in America. So, Jesse James's bikes were gaining serious attention, but his big break hadn't arrived yet. That life-changing moment came in 2000, when the Discovery Channel came knocking. One of the network's executives stumbled across Jesse's shop, and everything changed overnight. One day, he was just another skilled chopper builder, working tirelessly in his garage. The next, he was on the verge of becoming a television star. Discovery offered him a spot in Motorcycle Mania, a documentary following Jesse as he prepared for Daytona Beach Bike Week. When Motorcycle Mania aired in 2000, the reaction was explosive. Viewers loved the roaring bikes and the wild world of custom builds, but the real hook was Jesse himself. He wasn't the typical biker stereotype. Sure, he was rough around the edges, but he was also funny, brutally honest, and surprisingly relatable. Discovery knew they'd found something special. The show became a massive hit, leading to 2 more installments and a rapidly growing fan base. By 2002, the network was ready to take it further. They created a full-fledged series, Monster Garage, with Jesse as the centerpiece. Monster Garage was like Pimp My Ride on steroids, mixed with a bit of junkyard madness. Each week, a team of builders had just a few days and a limited budget to transform ordinary vehicles into over-the-top machines. School buses turned into mobile swimming pools, limousines into monster trucks, and even a classic Mustang reimagined as a lawnmower with massive blades. Jesse thrived in the chaos, equal parts ringmaster, leader, and mischievous anarchist. He'd crack jokes, push his team to their limits, and always demand excellence. If a build didn't meet his standards, there was only one outcome. It got crushed, blown up, or melted down, much to the delight of viewers. The show was wild, unpredictable, and addictive. It ran for 5 successful seasons, transforming Jesse from a niche motorcycle builder into a mainstream celebrity. West Coast Choppers became a phenomenon, flooded with orders and merchandise sales. At first, he impressed both viewers and Donald Trump with his leadership and creativity, especially during a charity car wash challenge. However, things fell apart during a celebrity memorabilia auction task. Jesse was raising funds for the Long Beach Education Foundation, but when the opportunity came to use his wife Sandra Bullock's Hollywood connections for donations, Jesse refused. He wanted to keep his marriage separate from his TV persona. Trump wasn't having it. In the boardroom, he blasted Jesse for not using every advantage, accusing him of sabotaging his team's efforts out of misplaced pride. Jesse was promptly fired, feeling humiliated and guilty for letting his charity down. The tabloids pounced, painting him as arrogant and stubborn, but that was just the beginning of a much darker chapter. That same year, his marriage to Sandra Bullock imploded in one of Hollywood's most public scandals. Multiple women came forward claiming to have had affairs with Jesse, including tattoo model Michelle "Bombshell" McGee, who sold her story to the press. The timing couldn't have been worse. Sandra had just won the Oscar for Best Actress, only for the cheating allegations to break days later. Jesse issued a tearful public apology and entered rehab, but the damage was irreversible. Sandra filed for divorce, and the public turned against him almost overnight. Jesse's image as the tough but lovable outlaw was shattered. Though Chopper magazine named him Man of the Year, his reputation was in ruins. Seeking a fresh start, Jesse moved to Austin, Texas in 2010. First came a hefty fine from the California Air Resources Board, CARB, for bikes built years earlier that failed to meet emission standards. Jesse fought the case but eventually settled. Then came a lawsuit from a disgruntled customer who accused him of taking hundreds of thousands of dollars for a custom car that was never completed. Reports described his shop as chaotic and Jesse himself as increasingly volatile, and unprofessional. These controversies threatened to destroy West Coast Choppers entirely. Desperate to rebuild his image, Jesse signed a new reality show deal in 2011 for Austin Speed Shop. The concept sounded promising, Jesse lending his expertise to a small Texas shop looking to make a name for itself. But the show lacked spark. Critics slammed it for being flat, uninspired, and missing the rebellious energy that made Monster Garage a hit. Jesse seemed detached, a shadow of the bold figure fans once knew. The show quickly flopped, and with it, Jesse James's hopes for a major comeback faded into the rearview mirror. The scandals surrounding Jesse James didn't stop there. His engagement to tattoo artist Kat Von D ended in explosive fashion after she accused him of cheating with, wait for it, 19 different women. Then things went from bad to worse when a photo surfaced of Jesse wearing a Nazi hat and giving a Nazi salute. Jesse claimed it was just a joke, but the backlash was immediate and intense. Sponsors dropped him, the media tore him apart, and he quickly became persona non grata in Hollywood. Jesse James was now on a full-blown collision course with self-destruction, and the wreckage was piling up fast. Meanwhile, his show Austin Speed Shop completely bombed. Instead of the high-octane energy fans expected, it delivered a dull, lifeless version of shop life. The builds were uninspired, and Jesse himself seemed detached, even using an alias on camera for reasons no one quite understood. The show lasted only 3 episodes before being canceled, marking a low point for the once revered king of custom bikes. For a while, it looked like Jesse's glory days were behind him. But if there's one thing he's proven over and over, it's that he never stays down for long. In 2013, Jesse made a surprising comeback not with bikes, but with guns. He launched Jesse James Firearms Unlimited, shifting his focus to designing and building high-end custom firearms. His goal, he said, was to craft timeless works of art for collectors and precision shooters. He even made a brief return to television with American Guns on Discovery Channel. But the network's decision to move away from gun-focused programming cut it short. Still, Jesse's business took off. His craftsmanship and name recognition built a loyal customer base of firearms enthusiasts. At the same time, Jesse cleverly reignited the West Coast Choppers brand, not with new bikes, but with merchandise. The nostalgic appeal of early 2000s rebel culture fueled massive sales of shirts, hats, posters, and signed prints. Fans wanted a piece of that outlaw legacy, and Jesse was more than happy to sell it to them. It was a smart, two-pronged business model: nostalgia for chopper fans and luxury craftsmanship for gun collectors. This diversification insulated Jesse from the fickle world of reality TV and created a devoted, niche audience that still supported him long after the headlines faded. And financially, Jesse James is doing just fine. His sprawling Texas ranch, complete with a 9-bedroom mansion, guest houses, pool, gym, private dock, and home theater, is proof that his empire is still thriving. Add in his coastal homes in California and Arizona, plus a garage full of rare, high-performance cars, and it's clear Jesse hasn't exactly fallen on hard times. Court records from his divorce proceedings revealed millions in investments and substantial real estate holdings. Those diamond-studded watches and custom-built Lamborghinis didn't come from fixing bikes. They came from years of smart business moves. These days, Jesse lives a much quieter life. The tabloids, scandals, and reality TV chaos are behind him. His focus is on family, craftsmanship, and running his businesses from the comfort of his Texas compound. He still has a hand in Austin Speed Shop, but he's more of a mentor now than the frontman content to let others take the spotlight. His real passion lies in Jesse James Firearms Unlimited, where his precision-engineered guns rival the artistry of his most famous choppers. He's also a regular face at Barrett-Jackson Auto Auctions, showcasing his love for classic cars and promoting his ventures. Meanwhile, West Coast Choppers merchandise continues to bring in steady profits, fueled by nostalgia and the resurgence of early 2000s biker culture. Between the guns, cars, merch, and savvy investments, Jesse James has quietly built a business empire that no longer depends on fame or television. His biggest drama in recent years was a private custody dispute with his fourth ex-wife, handled far from the public eye. Today's Jesse James is a far cry from the brash outlaw of Monster Garage. He's calmer, wiser, and more focused, living life on his own terms. Love him or hate him, one thing's undeniable: Jesse James is a survivor. He's crashed, burned, and rebuilt more times than most people could handle. Yet every time he finds a way to rise again. So what really happened to Jesse James after Austin Speed Shop? He stopped chasing the spotlight and started building an empire.